Week 9 is almost in the books, and today we're going to take a quick, fast, early look at the Week 10 waiver wire, looking at some of those hitters from today's games, looking at some of those players that you're looking to pick up later this week. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're going deeper than anybody else on YouTube when it comes to waiver wire content. A video rolled out every single day, going deeper by the day during the week. We help you set your lineups, and we're doing deep dives on all the trending players that way later in the week when someone gets jumped up the depth chart, that new running back like a Kyle Money guy. You learn a little bit more about that player to make your decision. It's your team. I'm giving you the information so you can make your roster moves. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. First player we're looking at today, due to an injury, Luke Musgrave. Kraft got hurt today. He got banged up. Looks like it's very significant. We're watching the reports here. Luke Musgrave is next man up. The thing is, the tight end position has been off and on week by week, but it's been solid. It's been dry other years, but it's been solid this year. We've had some young guys hit. We have some more young tight ends to look at that we'll talk about today. But this is next man up, and Luke Musgrave has had his moments off and on throughout his career when he's healthy. They've had issues at tight end with injuries. They've had it with Luke Musgrave before, but he is a highly athletic tight end prospect in an offense that features the tight end and an offense that are in these game scripts where there's a lot of volume. You also have some decent games coming up. Philly, and that's a matchup where they got to go to second and third reads. You got the Giants on the road. You got Minnesota. So he might be your next man up for you. Really depends on what's there on the waiver wire. Josh Downs should be rostered in all leagues, but he was on a lot of waiver wire content throughout the fantasy industry last week. 7 targets in this game, 11.6 PPR fantasy points, 1 touchdown. He was a flex gamble for a lot of folks. Up there with some of the waiver wire gets in the lineup decision. He needs to be rostered. He should be rostered in most 12-team leagues, but got to call this out, though. This team's got a lot of volume in the passing offense. Speaking of volume, Alec Pierce came in big today. 13 targets, 6 balls caught, 115 yards. He's the deep ball dandy. You get the air yards downfield. If you bring it in, you're going to splash big for fantasy football. We've been calling this out all season long. We called this out last year. He had like 3 to 4 games where he smashed last year. He's been off and on like every other game this year hitting, which is solid for the flex spot. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know. It could be 5. It could be 15. But at least it's off and on every other game right now. I think he needs to be rostered in 12-team leagues. Dalton Schultz. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. The reason why is he gets a lot of work, a lot of volume, and he doesn't hit too often. He's hit 3 times this year, but this is a historical thing here with the Texans where he's getting a lot of work, getting a lot of volume in his offense where he just doesn't cash. He'll have a few games like this every year, but if you're hurting a tight end, you lost Kraft, maybe you got to look at Schultz. The one thing about him, you know he's going to be around 5-ish targets a game, and now you're just hoping he scores the touchdown. He's due to score a touchdown. That's the thing about him. He is due to score a touchdown with this amount of volume. You're talking 5-ish plus targets a game, 6 range here. He's due to score a touchdown. He's due for that. You got some matchups where you can play around with him. If you're hurting at tight end, go ahead. I'm not a fan. Brian Robinson, he's going to be in every waiver wire article this week. A lot of people are going to watch these videos, and they're going to put him in their waiver wire articles. I guarantee you that because he scored the touchdown. They like to tail the backup running backs who score the touchdown. Brian Robinson will be a waiver wire get. He's rostered in a lot of leagues because he is the Christian McCaffrey Cup. He is. So this is another indicator, another tell, like I've been saying, when a running back like this gets anointed a little bit, that's the tell to look at your cuff and get it. And just get it. He's the Christian McCaffrey Cup. Get your Christian McCaffrey Cup because now we're in double-digit weeks. You do not want to fight the fab for Brian Robinson if you lose Christian McCaffrey. Calvin Austin's got a trend here. He's hitting like once every few games, when he's out there on the field, he's also getting a lot of targets, like kind of secretly here. Looking at this on the season, this week 6, last week 6. We had some time off. We were banged up. 2, 5, 4, and 6. We're getting volume in this offense. So in matchups here where it looks like they're going to have to push the pace a little bit, you may look at Calvin Austin here. 5 balls caught, 56 yards. Nothing crazy. We haven't scored a touchdown since week 3. We're kind of due for that. We're kind of due for a matchup where we go off. We got the Bengals. We got the Bears coming up. He's a good play for the flex if you're hurting that bad. He's got some upside for you. Blake Corum. There are people crying right now because he was stealing carries from Kyren Williams. He was out there on the field while Kyren Williams was watching him from the sidelines. He was looking good. He was looking explosive. And he is the Kyren Williams cup. He is the cuff of cups. Because if Kyren Williams goes down, he, as a known fact, pretty much, getting the Kyren Williams workload. He will get the Kyren Williams treatment. He will get that volume, and he would be lights out for fantasy football. He would be a league winner if Kyren Williams goes down due to that volume, or should be. He at least would project out to be due to how many touches and so many touches he would get. He would be getting 20, 25, 30 opportunities a game, and that's enough, especially in an offense like this, to get you over the hump. So even if you don't have Kyren Williams, he is a prime stash. He proved it this week. Yoshi. This is more for 14, 16 teamers, 18, 20 plus, whatever. Those deeper leagues. And he didn't fire this week, really, but he got 5 targets. But since week 5, 7, 4, 4, 3, 5 in targets. The one thing to point out here, as we go on by and come out of it, is the Bengals are in fire game scripts with Flacco. They got to sling the rock. You do not know what's going to happen in those games because there's some of these games where Jamar Chase is like 20-ish targets or 19. You're seeing that. Also, in some of these games, is getting spread out. We love that. And if you're hurt that bad and you're in a deeper league, Yoshi might be a guy to put a chip on. Maybe. Traditional 12-team leagues, that's going to be hard to do. You can't do it, really. You really can't. That's going to be a rough one to do. I would not advise it. But it might work out a few games. But if I'm in a deeper league with these game scripts and it's every week, he's throwing about 40 times a game and they got to spread it around to other bodies than Chase and T, then you're looking at Yoshi. Colston Loveland hit. So if you lost Tucker Kraft and Loveland's sitting there on the waiver wire, which a lot of leagues he shouldn't be, but if he's there, get it. Get it. This is an upside play. And this is a big upside gamble, but the upside is Gadsden again. He's the first tight end drafted in this year's draft over Tyler Warren, and he's made to score fantasy points. He stretches the seam, good ball skills, nasty hands. He was banged up in training camp, which means he just needed time to develop. The fact that we're starting to spark up here, 10 targets the last 2 games. Before that, we did not get any games with more than 4 targets. We had 4 in week 7, 4, 5, and 5. We're starting to see a little trend there. Colston Loveland. In game scripts where it's fire, you're going to have to use them. But if you're banged up a tight end, you're going to have to take it and ride this roller coaster. But it could be glorious for you as well. Now you're looking at Olamid Zaccheaus. You're looking at that. You got the Giants coming up. You got Minnesota on the road. We got a trend here. Last 4 games. Last 5 games here. 6, 6, 3, 7, and 8. In targets. During this time, Romo Dunze has been fading. He's been getting work. He's been getting opportunity. Luther Burden has been banged up. You got some upside with this kid because this team's in fire game scripts. He's a flex gamble. If you need it, he's going to be in a lot of waiver wire content this week. Trey Harris. Let's see if he makes it in any waiver wire articles this week. Let's see come Monday when we call out Big Fantasy with their waiver wire content. That's what we do. Hit that subscribe button. We look at the articles. I average it out. And who's the guys being talked about? What's the market looking like? He's one of the few, if any, handcuffed wide receivers out there. He's a handcuff to QJ, probably a little bit of Keenan. You also got Keandre Lambert-Smith there and some other. This is a deep, deep depth chart here. Trey Harris, next man up on a team that's going to spread the ball around, and you're seeing that name crop up in the box score a little bit more opportunity. Pay attention to him. They drafted him in the second round for a reason. Very solid ball skills. If you can swing it, probably more 14-teamer. 16-teamer, he probably might be rostered. Anything bigger, he better be rostered because I want them Chargers. And if something happens, he's a guy that's going to be thrusted out there. DeMario Douglas hit. Now, this is more about Drake May. Drake May's on fire. He spreads it around. And he does not care. He spreads it around. So what does that tell me? DeMario Douglas and Mac Hollins, they will randomly have games like this. It was Mac Hollins last week against the Browns. Now it's DeMario Douglas this week. So if I'm hurting and I'm setting lineups like my hair's on fire, I'm just picking up one of them off the waiver wire going into Sunday. And I'm just going to pray to the fantasy football gods and hope Drake May spreads it their way. JJ McCarthy. The dude's killing it for fantasy at least, but he's also looking good first game back. Considering the context of what he was going up against and it being his first game back, I'm excited to see what more comes up. You got Baltimore, you got the Bears, you got Green Bay on the road. We got a rushing touchdown, 16 yards on the ground, 127 yards, and you got all the weapons. He should be solid. Pick him up off waivers if he's still there. Flacco should be rostered, but he's also Flacco. But I just like talking about Flacco. Look at this. Since week 6, 45, 47, 34, 47 passing attempts. Going on by. Of course, Joe Burrow will be back somewhere down the line, but we don't know when. Flacco is pushing the rock, making these games fun. If he's there, you just get him. I'd start him in almost any matchup, honestly. He's throwing it so much. Darius Slayton. I had to start sit question of a lifetime this morning on the live stream. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that right now so you can watch the live stream on Sunday mornings as we talk about these lineups. I asked him or JMO, and I stared at it for a second. I was like, they're pretty much the same thing, especially at this point. Now, don't go tape grinding. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the deep ball effect and the randomness for fantasy football production. JMO's been random. He's got the Will Fuller effect. And that's how we came up with the word Will Fuller effect, because I was trying to describe what JMO was going to be during his rookie season. Darius Slayton has the Will Fuller effect where he's going to ball out randomly throughout the year. He got to the fairway today on 7 targets, but the volume's very solid. And on top of that, he's a deep ball dandy. If you're looking for a guy that can cash big on any given Sunday, this is a guy that could do it because he gets those deep targets. Bhayshul Tuten is a player to pay attention to. He is a prime running back stash right now. And a lot of people project him to get more touches later on down the road in the season, which could happen. LaQuint Allen in deeper formats, pay attention to him. Pay attention to Jaguars. He's got a lot of upside. If he does get anointed somewhere down the line, people are going to bust fab on him left and right. Those are the players we're looking at to get off the waiver wire here in week 10. Going into week 10, just wrapping up week 9. Let me know who you're picking up in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.